Approved OSR 4. Dean, I understand you have a proposed amendment.
Yeah, I think
You want to just explain it? We'll try to move
Mr.
this.
Rayner wants to speak.
That's fine, I'll have him speak after, but once you
Do
introduce
you
it
have
so we can
copies
do
for
it quickly.
everybody? You want to come up here?
Dean, just give us a quick
okay.
summary. So we
Okay,
can get
quick summary. With regard to section 2-185A, I would request the commission to add after gender, gender identity or expression. In section 2-185B, I'd ask that the commission approve the addition of the word county, where it says federal, state, and county discrimination statutes, as well as to add gender identity and expression. Same with paragraph C, adding after the word gender, gender identity or expression, as well as sexual orientation after the word disability. I believe Mr. Rayner has passed around.
That's fine, let's, I know
Okay,
we're
and I would ask that, well, we have to open a public hearing.
Well, I will, but I'm trying to, it's a short meeting and we're trying to,
Yeah.
I have no problem with the amendment.
Okay.
Does anybody have a problem with it?
No, I'll second it.
So, I mean, I think Mr. Rayner wants to speak, you're in support of the amendment, right? So if we pass it without any discussion, you're okay with that? So with that, can I have a motion to move it?
I'd like to speak briefly. I'll make it brief.
All right, thank you. Come on up, Dennis. But I think everybody supports it, so.
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. Michael Rayner. I do serve actually currently as the Vice Chair of the Broward County Human Rights Board, but I'm here speaking as an individual. The language in which you have in front of you for Section 2-185, equal opportunity for minority women-owned business enterprises, is where the language, I believe, for the procurement ordinance to protect LGBT people in contracts is actually being placed. In that, there were some areas that were left out, and I know that some of this may come from the city manager's policy that has adopted possibly a stance that comes from case law, but I would recommend still being changed to mirror this as far as actually enumerating gender identity or expression as a singular enumerated protected class. And I'm recommending that the commission add that under Section A. Under Section B, as Commissioner Trentalis read, add county and add gender identity and expression, and under C, add gender identity and expression and sexual orientation. Those seem to be left out. While it was the intent by the Commission's memo for this item to include those, I want to thank the Commission for finally, for the first time ever, I think, in the city's history, to actually codify in city ordinance protections for the LGBT community in 2017. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Rayner. With that, I'll entertain a
Move
motion
to close public hearing.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded.
Commissioner Trentalis?
Yes.
Commissioner McKenzie? Not present. Commissioner Rogers?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Roberts?
Yes.
Mayor Sodom?
Yes, and by your vote, the public hearing's closed, and then do I have a motion?
I'll
It's been
move the
introduced by
item.
Dean as amended.
Can
the
I just ask a question? I'm just trying to figure this out in terms of, this is our procurement ordinance, right?
Right.
Isn't that what we're amending?
Correct.
Yes. So I'm just trying to fit all this in with the procurement piece. I know-
This basically requires that contractors not discriminate on the basis of gender, gender identity, gender selection,
Race, color,
race, color, sexual orientation, and all the.
Yeah,
all the
I thought
protected
we already
classes.
added that. That's why I'm.
We did, I think
You-
this clarifies it, is what I think.
Yeah.
It's clarifying the intent we talked about, at least when I did the first time,
Yeah, you did.
last meeting, yeah.
But you brought it up, we actually had to put the language in, and we did, so that's what this is, and Mr. Rayner had
That's
a-
where I'm confused, because I thought we already added it, so I'm just wondering what the.
We just rearranged the order.
I think we did. I think Mr. Rayner thinks that this is more consistent with the county policy
Right.
and fits in, and I think it doesn't, I think it already does what we wanted it to do, but I think it makes it more clear, and because of his position with the county, and I think Dean's expertise in this area, and the two of them are more comfortable with this language, I think the end result is these protections need to be added, and whether it's drafted one way or drafted another way, or how it's wordsmithed, I think we need to get to the result of the protections being added, and if an expert from the county board, I know you're vice chair or chair, Mr. Rayner?
Vice Chair.
Vice chair, and I know Dean, you've worked on these issues for 20 years. And Bruce, I
25.
think you had asked for this language.
Yeah, I'd asked for it at the first reading, and then this
Yeah.
is, to my mind, it clarifies, and it's more specific, as you're saying, Jack, is what it actually means.
It
So-
does, but the most important thing is these protections need to be added.
Right.
So let's,
So I move the item.
it's
Second.
been moved and seconded.
And this is as amended. An ordinance of the City of Fort Lauderdale, Florida, repealing Division 2 purchasing of Article 5 finance of Chapter 2 administration of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and creating a new Division 2 procurement of Article 5 finance of Chapter 2 administration of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Fort Lauderdale, Florida, repealing Section 2-125.1 design build contracts and Section 2-127 approval of change orders and task orders of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and providing for severability, repeal of conflicting ordinance provisions, and an effective date. Commissioner Trentalis?
Yes.
Commissioner McKenzie? Not present. Commissioner Rogers?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Roberts?
Yes.
Mayor Sala?
Yes, and by your vote, that's approved.
Thank you,
And
gentlemen, I appreciate it.
thank you to everybody that worked on that. Next item up is